May 13, 1942, in the oratory of the Colegio Maximo of the Society of Jesus, Tomás Morales was ordained a priest in the city of Granada. 80 years ago. Who would have imagined that, from that young Jesuit prostrated on the floor of the chapel, at the feet of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, God would forge an authentic man of God, an evangelizer with spirit, a shepherd determined to defend and nourish his sheep, a husband faithful to his church. Normally, he would have been ordained at the end of the academic year, but on that May 13th, the 25th anniversary of the episcopal ordination of Pius XII was commemorated, and the grace was granted to bring forward his ordination. Everything was hastened. On Sunday, May 10th, 1942, he was ordained subdeacon in the Cathedral of Granada, together with 28 Jesuits. On Monday, May 11th, he was ordained a deacon. Our Lady, in her month and on the festival of her apparitions in Fatima, is in a hurry to prepare this Jesuit to be a loud speaker of her message and a herald of love for Mary. How did Father Morales prepare for these events? A year earlier, August 30th, 1941, he writes to his mother and sisters,
I have just returned from my trip to Madrid, and tonight I am going to the retreat. In Madrid I acquired the materials for the vestments, and I have brought them to the Dominican mothers, who will immediately begin to make them for me.
If he did this with the exterior vestments, what would he not do with the interior? In a letter to his father, October 28, 1937, we sense his remote preparation.
Thus, day after day, through prayer and study, fulfilling the will of God in both, I try to prepare myself more and more each day for the mission of apostolate for which He has chosen me, with ineffable love. So great is the suffering in society today. So great is the physical and moral distress that affects the immense majority of men, that only Jesus Christ, through His apostles, can remedy it. And for this mission of consoling, of guiding, of orienting the hearts and minds of men towards the one true life, towards the only object that can fully satisfy the ardent desire for happiness that springs up in the heart of man, Jesus Christ wants to make use of the priest, the apostle, the religious, the Jesuit.
How well these words portray Father Morales, and how topical they still are. On that May 13th, he would surely remember, trembling with emotion, what he expressed to his mother in a letter dated March 7th, 1939.
The dignity of the priesthood is very high, dear mother, as a mediator between God and man, a continuator of Christ's work, a dispenser of His graces in the Mass, communion, and the other sacraments. Every time I think of it, I am appalled at my unworthiness and my lack of virtue, and yet the difficult moment is approaching. Perhaps it will come in a very few years. Therefore, when you suffer, remember me and my priesthood. Perhaps this will make your sorrows more bearable, and your offering will surely contribute to prepare me to be a priest of the Lord.
He trembles with emotion for such a high dignity. He melts in gratitude and adoration. From that day on, he would celebrate the Eucharist with deep faith and ineffable love. Those present at his Masses cannot fail to notice the supernatural atmosphere in which he lived them. Would he remember at that first Mass what happened to him 10 years ago? It was on May 14th, 1932, when Father Morales received a letter around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, in which he read these words.
Vocation consists of nothing more than this. If you want to be perfect, go, sell everything you have, give it to the poor, and you come, follow me.
These words were an irresistible impulse that lasted forever. He never looked back. He knew how to find a protective capsule, the Immaculate Heart of Mary, refuge in dangers and temptations, consolation in sorrows and disappointments, balm for wounds, source of trust, school of love and service. In his first homily, he would surely speak of gratitude, generosity, courage in proclaiming the gospel, trust in the maternal intercession of Mary, and of the providence of having been able to be ordained a priest on May 13th. Dear Father Morales, today you continue to speak to us and encourage us. Thank you for your yes that has drawn us to follow Christ. Thank you for the path of holiness that you have left us.